This will be a tutorial on how I made the 3D particle effects for the game A Thief's Way. What I typically do is I sort of think about how I want that particle system to look, or how I want it to work, so to say. So for this particle system, I really wanted to add in a trail behind the player when they moved. I wanted to sort of look like little specks of dirt or dust or ground or smoke coming um, coming up from their feet when they move. So to make this particle effect, I simply applied the particle system to my player game object. And then what I did is I added in this render mode. I made it mesh so that you could get these cubes. And then I just created a material so that we can actually see the sides of the cubes. So if we add in this material here, you can now see all the different sides of the cube. And you can even adjust that color to however you want. I made mine a black so that it could you could see that off the grey floor, and sort of to match in like that spectrum of tones so that it didn't look too out of place. Like I really like what it looks like when it's like a brown color. I think that looks really cool. For like if they were running across like a dirt road or something like that. I think that would look really cool too, so I might even use that for this tutorial. So first of all, these are the settings that are for the run particle system. I made the duration 1, so that's the length of time the particle system is emitting particles. But we have that looping anyway, so it's going to be a continuous type. It's going to be continuous. So its lifetime, I have it quite short because I want it to be. I don't want it to be long. I want it to be quite short behind the player. And then its starting speed is 0.5. Want it to be somewhat slow moving, and our start size, that's fine. The next thing that I want to do is change the simulation space. So at the moment it's sort of just emitting particles on this transform, and they're not moving around in the world, which is what I really want. So to do that is to change it to world. Now what this does is it allows the particles to flow and move from the transform, and it follows behind it. So sort of like a trail renderer. Um, so from here, um, uh, we need to add in a size over lifetime. So from here, I want the particles to begin at the start size and then sort of shrink down over time. So we get this curve here and we can adjust that. We can start it at 1 and then we're going to have it shrink down to 0. So now you'll see is that they start at that start size and they shrink down to 0. Alright, one other thing that I really like is this rotation over lifetime. If you click it in, it'll start, the particles themselves individually will sort of rotate. And I like to like crank this up and it looks really cool. It looks like, these little particles are flicking and spinning. And the other one that I really like is this rotation by speed. And this really adds some cool effects, and I quite like this, and I think I might be implementing that setting into the particle effect that I did make. And there you have that particle effect.